2 minutes. So someone has time for another joke. You do not have to wait for me. Come on, stand up. Who's got a joke? No one? Okay. A rope walks into a bar.
What does a rope?
A rope.
Oh.
A rope. And it clearly says, ropes not allowed. And he just walks right by. You know, don't ask permission, just go. And he sits down at the bar stool, and the bartender says, ropes aren't allowed here. Get out. So he gets up, sort of meekly walks away. And then he says, how could I do this differently? So he ties himself in a knot, and he takes the end of it, and he sort of frays it to look like hair. And he goes back in, and he sits back down. The bartender says, I told you, ropes aren't served here. And he said, I'm afraid not. You didn't film that, right? Oh, Mamma Mia. That wasn't supposed to be on the film. Okay. Am I supposed to start now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Loriann Signori. Only call me Loriann, because remember that it's Lori, and it rhymes with Signori. That's not good. So Loriann is the only way it will go here. And you're free to ask questions. As you can tell already, I'm as nervous as can be, and completely honored to get the opportunity to do this. I'll calm down within 5 minutes. Okay, the first thing I want to note is that IAPS is a tremendous endeavor. And the people that make this happen first start with the board. They have the green little things here. And so every time you see a board member, go give them a hug and a thank you, because they have been working for 2 years, right, to make this happen. And go ahead.
Thank you for being here, and thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And then there's other volunteers, like our lovely friend back there. They're all over the place. Make sure you thank the volunteers, because without that, this wouldn't happen. And next time an event happens, say, I volunteer. Okay? First thing, right? Yes. Okay. Back into my space. Okay. You know, I'm lucky I'm not the judge for this show. It's a gorgeous show with the most beautiful pieces that I don't even know where to start. I was lucky to be on the hanging committee, and so I got to live with them for 2 days and see them that way. And I realized I needed to have a focus. And the focus needed to be a little more true to the way I think, rather than talk about what's considered the best, which a judge would have to do, okay? I get to consider what pieces push the boundaries of art. What pieces explore an innovative concept. They've taken what is them and what is information, a la the toolbox, and explored so much deeper through their own curiosities. I call it living by the question. And so that's the way we're going to go through this. So I picked pieces for that reason. Now, the first thing I want to know, how many people here have a piece in the show? I just want to know, acknowledge you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the hiding one back there. Well, congratulations. Congratulations if you didn't make it too. It's hard. And that said, if you didn't make it, try again. It's just a group's opinion. You just keep going and going and going. I learned long ago that you only live with the disappointment or the hurrah for one day. Pick it up and go. So that said, that I'm going to talk about daring evolution of thought. I'm going to start by reading the words of someone I admire, and that's Amanda Palmer. I don't know if you know her, an artist. She spoke about the harrowing experience of watching her best friend die. She's an artist. I don't want to paraphrase this, so I'll read it directly. Everyone in this room is going to be gone pretty quickly. And we will have either made something or not made something. The artists that inspire me are the ones that I go and look at and said, oh my God, you didn't have to go there. And I resonated to that completely. It would have been safer not to, but for some reason, whatever reason, you did. And every time death happens, I'm reminded that it's stupid to be safe. Usually, whatever that is, wherever you don't want to go, whatever that risk is, wherever that unsafe place is, that really is the gift you have to give. So I want you to think about that, because you're all artists here, and you're all thinking, so what do I do next? Okay, we'll move on.
Could you tell me the name again?
Amanda Palmer. Okay, we'll start in this room because we're lucky to have Charles here too, and he's sneaking behind there. And Charles, come on up, because we're going to go a little back and forth, just a little. Where's Charles? He's sneaking on me. Come, come, come. I'm going to talk first and tell you. I was lucky to be able to work with Charles for one day. And one of the things, we artists are guardians of an inner world. We had this chat before, and the only way we really show it, people show it by the way we talk and act, but the way we really show it is through what we create. And so when I looked at this, before even meeting Charles, and I'm going to let him talk in a minute, I looked at it. I'll have him talk briefly, yes. I looked at it and I said, oh God, look at that painting. Look at that bold diagonal, so Degas-esque. Look at that negative space depth. Look at the quietude that's made by stilling everything down and keeping that tight color scheme, okay? And then just that little play there. It feels, you know it's the end of an event of some sort, and we talked about which one it was, which is interesting, he'll tell you. But it's like that, that time when the wedding's over and everything's done and you're just like, phew. That's what it feels like. But it's so daring while being so quiet. I love that tension. Charles, would you like to talk at all? You can do it. Come on, you talk to me.
Okay. Well, actually, she nailed it because the reference photos for this were taken on the patio at the last convention. Oh, wow. And so I had these photos and I just loved the chairs and the suggestion of the color palette and all that sort of stuff. But I am by nature a very introverted, quiet person, but I also have a little bit of an element of mischief.
I saw that.
Or extrovert thrown in there. And so I wanted this to have that moment of, we've had a party, we've had a big celebration, and now it's over, and there's this sort of quiet, dial it down time, which is a sweet memory, but it's also a little bit sad too. And I reflected on that because of this being the last convention. So I was very surprised and honored that it made it into this particular show, and then, so I wanted the boldness of bringing it in, and this chair got moved a million times in arranging this piece. But then, that quiet color palette.
And that bold cropping.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Okay, so like I told you, I was part of the hanging committee, so I got to see all these before they had names on them and awards. So we're going to go over here. And I didn't know this was Olga's beautiful painting. but I knew it was by someone who really understood the toolbox, for one thing, and it's so daring the way the figure is cropped and angled. It brought me back to what Wyeth does with that kind of empty space, strong diagonals, cut pieces. It's just so dynamic. What's it called? Fresco Dream. Any one I show you, it means it stopped me in my tracks. So we'll go to the next figure. And of course it's Corey's. Corey's a master draftsman, and that plays a part of it, but there's so much more. In order to create a portrait, of course, you have to be a master draftsman, right? To be able, or draftswoman, to be able to pull that off with any. But he does it beyond. He goes to those places where he doesn't need to go. He's thick, like a Rembrandt would do, thickly putting that pastel on, pressing the light. I couldn't help but think of all those Rembrandt portraits where you're really trying to see what you could get for the light and the sculpting. It's exquisite.
It really catches your eye when you walk.
Yeah, you walk there, you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's other paintings you can't avoid too. Let's keep going. Corey's not here, right? Because or else I'd have him talk too.
He did say Rembrandt's his favorite, though.
Oh, of course it is, right? No, I don't have anyone this one. I have Fred Summers. Fred Summers. I didn't have to look at the tag to know that was Fred. Fred is indeed a master painter, but that's not why I chose it. I chose it because it's a daring evolution of personal expression. He, for one thing, I know of him that he's a purist, the best way to say it. He doesn't like to introduce any other material. It's pastel and pastel only. So he's not using fixative, he's not using watercolor. He pigment pours, which means pastel with gum tragacanth and distilled water. And that's how he gets these wonderful little things. And so he's trying to get this feeling of the water dance. But yet, is that feeling of the water dance as important as the experience of the painting? Think about that. That's always that kind of balance we're making. Because the motif, as I call it, some people call it the subject, the motif is the water. But what is the subject? The subject is this daring sort of movement of these bubbles he's making up, and this movement, this gold, and he's trying to get you into a different, invented reality that's so much better than the real. And isn't that what we do, right? Mm-hmm. We move on. If anyone have a question? Yes, please. Yes. I love questions.
I tried to deconstruct this and I could not figure it out. How did he get the metallic hexagons?
That's a Fred question.
Yeah. Could you repeat the question? I couldn't hear.
Go ahead, repeat the question.
If you look closely, you can see the hexagons have a metallic look to them.
It's gold leaf.
Like it's foil, gold foil or something. And I could not figure out how he did that.
It's probably a stencil, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
With gold leaf and some kind of.
Yeah, you can move it a little bit and do
Right.
something. Yeah.
But foil has to be done in a certain order.
But you have to make mistakes too, right?
Yeah.
And then you see what you get and you say, oh, that's interesting. I keep it, I scrape it off, right? Mistakes are really good.
So you said it's pure pastel?
It's pure pastel.
And how did you do the bubbles again?
So
I have no idea.
Oh, you
you don't
said
know what the
something about.
texture?
I wasn't there. I know that he uses pigment pouring.
Pigment what?
Pouring. So he's pouring it distilled water, gum tragacanth, which is what our pastels are bound with, and pigment. That's a pastel in liquefied form, right? But talk to Fred. He can tell you a lot more. Any other questions? Nope. Okay, let's go. Oh, this one. This was fascinating. I have two in this one I'm going. This is Mark Ivan Cole. What struck me first, the composition's really strong, But the more I looked at it, the more I was like, what? And it's the spatial quality, the pictorial space is tipped. You know, you think about Cézanne. This we're seeing from above, and this we're seeing with linear perspective. He's balancing two perspectives at the same time and doing it exquisitely. Did he have to go there? No. Those are the kinds of things that are so intriguing. So you think back to your own practice. What are you playing with? What are the questions you're giving yourself? Let's go to this one. Isn't this gorgeous? And you know, the subject is endearing. But even if you pass by the subject, the way it's painted, the pure joy of painting within a limited palette and allowing things to drip and playing it, the motif really doesn't matter, even though you know she loves that dog. But everyone can love the motif at the same time because just the way it's painted. I wish it was mine. You know, you feel that way. It's like, oh. Did I do one here? No, okay, we keep going. Do I have any in this one? Let me look. I could talk about so many, but I didn't want to keep you here that long. So this one, I have one down here. This little quiet one. It reaches a kind of quietude accessible by the high key palette. She's bathed, her name is Ann Sanders, she's bathed it all in light. And I didn't even know the name of it's haze. And you feel it. She's pushed what's possible. Is that really what we see or what we wish we see? It's probably on the value scale, maybe an 8 to a 10. That's all. And she got away with making pictorial space, atmosphere, and wonder at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to go and talk about another favorite topic I have while we move on, because it brings me here. And before I talk about this painting that stopped me in my tracks, I'm going to talk about the question. You're going to hear this from me all the time, all my students here, is to live by the question. What's the question? As artists, it's your job to live by saying, what happens if I, What happens if I, Because a question is like a lantern. Think of it that way. That shines light on new, unexplored places that you previously don't know the answer to, right? Go there. Follow that lantern that takes you through your discovery. Because if you're doing the same thing you did before, follow the questions. What would happen if? So we go here. That brings us to Terry Ford's exquisite painting. When I saw this one just blew me away. I didn't know it was Terry's because Terry is much more in the realm of realism. Okay, best way to put it. But this speaks to you on so many levels because of its color and its harmony and its pow. This one sings a song. She didn't have to go there. That's a daring exploration that makes us want to be there. Questions about this one? Doesn't it blow your mind?
I asked her about this.
Yeah.
It's a series of 11 that she just experimented with. And I said, you know, it must feel very affirming that your experiment
Created
worked
that.
so well. Yes.
Live by the question.
Yes.
Ignite a new space with light and say, what happens if? That way. We're going to Carol Struck Wasson's piece. I knew it was hers immediately. Didn't need to see the label. She's a beautiful painter who experiments with a tight value scale for light. But look at this. How ultra simplified can you be? How much can you take out and say, nope, they don't need that information? The only indication you have that this is a landscape is possibly that. The rest you read in, and you read in beautifully. Tell less. I have something written on my studio wall that I live by, and that is when you gain the particular, you lose the infinite. And we as painters would love people to believe in the infinite.
You say that quote again?
When you gain the particular, you lose the infinite. Thank you. Infinite. You want it to exist in a dream state forever, right? That's what I want mine to do. We have mine here. I'll speak briefly on this one. Because it's a curious thing that I'm exploring now. I'm a right-handed painter. I had my right hand and wrist and elbow all the way down to here in a cast. I had to learn to paint with my left. My left is a baby. It crosses over to the other brain, which doesn't tell me what to do. I had no idea what I was doing sometimes. And that's how that one was created. It doesn't look like my normal work, right? If anyone knows my normal work, it's usually about luminosity and glow. Couldn't do it. I couldn't press the right way. But sometimes a problem like that becomes the best way to learn, right? I wasn't going to stop painting. I painted harder and figured out. And now I'm trying to process what. I have a friend who's a neurosurgeon, and she was talking to me about how it crosses to the response side of your brain, the more emotional side, not the analytical. And so you're really dealing with it in such a different way that you didn't before. She and I are trying to write an article because I want to understand what it is and learn from my experience. Okay, well, this is a cluster.
What kind of surface and
It's you, Art.
is it's floating?
Yeah, I have my framer. I'm incompetent in framing. Float them so that they rise a little bit. Again, I'm trying to achieve this feeling of infinity. And so if I float it off, it floats more, right?
Yeah, it does.
Thanks. Okay, over here. I knew right away that was Adrian's painting, too. Adrian is also doing something similar to what I think with Rembrandt, because she uses her self-portrait and does it over and over again. And each time, it's a brand new exploration. I can't think of any Adrian self-portraits that are the same. And you just look at how she controlled the palette, and there's these beautiful lines and these quiet spaces. It just, it's beautiful. And then we have Sandra's. This one's yours, isn't that right? Come on up. You want to put down your stuff? Come over here. I was drawn first to the palette and the feeling of this huge size of the place and the quietude. You want to talk about it?
This is really interesting because I went to a play in New Orleans. The play was Neville Coward's Light Spirit, or someone might correct me. And it was a stage play, and the lighting, this was the lighting.
Really?
Yeah. So it was so vibrant. This is not artistic license. It's not. It was like a pastel painter's dream. And so I went up in between, in the breaks, and it was just amazing. Usually stage sets are really strong lighting and really dramatic, but this is just these, lovely color freedom of color. Thank you. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us. Okay, what was I going to do here? Oh, sorry, Again, I could talk about all of them, but we're not going to do that. I keep telling myself, not going to do that. Here. This small portrait by Laura Mochnick. First you get drawn just by that shape, the way it's held in the abyss in a way. No description whatsoever in the back. And then the lines of that swan-like neck. And you come right in, and then if you creep inside, you say, holy cow, look at what she did there. It's just gorgeous. But does she have to go there? You think about it. When we're painting, we're so much telling our personal stories, even though we don't know that. That's part of the guardian in here that we let people see. And so play with the toolbox and expose yourself as much as you want. But here we go. You know what's there, but what they see may be different. Okay, next one. Oh man. Now, this painting is absolutely gorgeous. We're in the open division now, and just look at it for a while. How simplified it is. How much it shows you what darkness is about, but hope within the darkness too. Her name, and Maikan Suk Hwang. Could you correct me? Do you know it all?
That's okay.
Okay, I'll go for it.
You're right.
Okay. It's out of my wheelhouse of pronunciation. But look closely too, and just look what happened with that glow. As I taught a course about luminosity, and this is one of the tools of using the dark surrounding it, or this light, and go in lighter. But she chose different points. Look, there's a triangle made. The Renaissance triangle, placed right in there. It's beautiful. Okay, we'll move on. Let's see, I want to keep my notes on here too now. I think I'm here. Nope. Sorry, I'm just want to look at my notes, make sure I'm on the right. Alexandra Saranjic. Sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly. Beautiful painting. Now we get to talk about abstraction. One of my favorite topics.
Can you speak louder, please?
Now we get to talk about abstraction. One of my favorite topics. Because what is abstraction? I'm writing an article right now for Pastel Journal, so I had to really dive deep. People call my paintings abstract. I'm like, really? Andrew Wyeth called his paintings abstract. He said he was an abstractionist because what abstraction does is focus on shapes. And he said that it was hard for him, but important to him, to focus on the shapes before he got into anything, those details that he loved. He knew he had to hold back in order to get that beautiful feeling. And there's one here, I think it's down there, that reminds me also of his. And so think about that definition first. Aren't we all abstract? If we're relying on shapehood first, you're always shapifying. Think about that big shape. Okay? Look at this one. Everyone thinks that's abstract. But that's about movement. And yeah, we know the motif. It's water, right? We can tell that. How much do we need to know? That's the question you always ask yourself. Creep into your paintings. Hold back on those details like Wyeth did. Put as little as possible. Think of the Carroll painting there, the Terry Ford. How little do you need to tell us? Let us do the work to become involved. She did that. Here's Greg Sanford. I know him because he's been in my workshops, and I just love the way he's pushing and pushing what is not the norm for pastel painting. Gosh, I think he has outlining. You know? Who gets away with outlining? He's been getting away with it for a couple of years now. And he keeps getting away with it. And now he's got this incredible diagonal that brings you right down there. It's bold. Love bold. Bold can be quiet or it can be loud. It's up to you. But it's daring. Daring's good. Let me see. Where's the one I wanted to go to? Oh, here it is. Come on over. Mary Sexton. Do not know her. Want to know her? This also was so reminding me of what Wyeth does. That shape hood is so strong first. It makes the space, but it also makes the design. And then you creep in and you say, oh, wow, look at all that. But first, you see the bold design. That's beauty. Okay, where was I going next? Oops, sorry, run you over. I cannot pass this one up. I wrote about this one endlessly. Let me see my notes so I don't skip anything. I can't find it right now, so I'll just go. Well, first, let's think about the action of painting. Okay? It's unlike seeing, but in seeing's place. Right? Is it real? Nope. So we put 3D seeing and feeling, unquantifiable, 3D seeing in Toolbox, quantifiable into 2D, right? And we put it together. And that's when you get something like this. I'm guessing it's her studio, green space. It's bold, but yet it's exquisitely intimate because it makes you go all the way in here and look at what was done. There's probably 100 greens in there, 100 different forms of green. But because they're kept within the value structure, they hold tight. Keep your value structure tight. Make sure you look at that one. Is this one yours? It is. Mamma mia. I love this painting, and it's not because I love cats. It's because of the feeling I get when I look at it. And you did it with so many ways, but I'm going to give you a chance to talk. Darlene, please come up. Exquisite painting.
Thank you. Well, this was actually just experimentation for me. It's on aluminum, and I'd had it hanging around in my studio for like 3 years and not tried it. One morning, I gradually, slowly waking up, and just felt really at ease and at peace and creative, and my cats were cuddling. And so I tried taking selfies, and I took some other pictures and went in the studio and thought, well, this is the time to start playing. And that's all it was. It's a big lesson for me in learning not to be attached to the result. And
Brava.
I can't believe I'm here with this piece with an award.
Yay! Sorry to put you on the spot. It's just so good. Because she just described what you want in a painting, and that's the response, the emotional response. I mean, painting technically correct is nice, but if it omits what you just talked about, it's just nice. This is gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I actually sent the picture to my husband. Come over here. Let's see, what was next now? Doesn't it just make you feel? Oh, man. Okay, so one in here? I don't think so. Nope. Keep going. Where did I want to go? Nope. Again, I just squeezed it down to what I was going to talk about. Nope. Here. We're going down here. I think this was the last one. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Oh, look, you guys who move slower, you're better off. This painting, it's by Joy Morgan. Talk about a really reduced value scale, color harmony, but yet you get the feeling completely. It's called Breathing in Rust. You're not here, are you, Joy? So I'd call you up right away. It's just has this feeling of forgotten, lost, but yet wonder at the same time, right? And that's by using, of course, composition, and then the value scale and color squeezed. Remember, those are the tools we have. Manipulate them as much as you possibly can, because that's how you'll get somewhere. That's how you'll be in the next show.
I just want to comment, the choice of frame is excellent too, with that painting, in my opinion.
Okay, I don't even notice frames.
But could you comment on framing as far as mats, no mats?
When we're all done.
Yes.
Because I felt that this walk was not about framing.
Yes.
Or how we
Sure.
present things. We can talk when we're done about presentation, because I do have some strong feelings about presentation. But I wanted to talk about the boundaries, the pushing, the wonder, all that. And we just have one more. And then we can go on to that. And that's this small one here. Julia Lambright. Julia took this, it's obviously a floral. If you look hard enough, you know. It's obviously abstracted, if we go for that word. But look at what happens. First, she has this nice big shape, which we know are florals, but do we need to know how much does she need to put in? It's this play of this dance between the lights. The rest of it can sit stiller because all you do is follow through that. That to me is bold and wonderful. Isn't it? I don't know her, but I want to know her. Okay, so now I've talked about the paintings that I wanted to. And once we come over here, I can address framing, because that is separate. Even though it's somewhat attached to painting, and when we present ourselves in a frame, right? We're trying to give people the full image of what happens, right? We're trying to give a bigger vision of our vision. And I don't know, I'll start with what I do. I believe that it has to be mounted with a lot of space, as much space possible, lifted from the back, because my aim is infinity. I make the frame as nondescript as possible, white washout, don't notice me, okay? That's my way. What I think I would advise is that the frame is your presentation, okay? But if someone's looking at the frame, watch out. You've lost the presentation because you want them to look at your work, right? Nothing else is important. So make sure that that's where they're going. If I don't have to ship, I make the widest border I can so the infinite spreads. But the more you ship, the more it costs, so you make it a little shorter. Okay? Does that answer the question?
Mats?
Mats. I don't use them, personally. Because, again, here we're talking infinite. If I use a mat, it's the closing in thing. If I float it on the backboard and lift it, it's the breathing thing. But that's a personal decision. Lots of people use mats and they use it wonderfully. But my vision says something else. Personal bias.
Oh, up against the glass or, that's.
Both ways. I again, when I paint, it has so many layers of fixative underneath, not on top, ever, never on top, and they're in shadow boxes, so they're like this, so what little is on top does not spring to the glass, even when shipped. Wow. When I do huge paintings, they're in really wide frames and they have museum plaques. And then it doesn't have that static, okay?
What is your backing board for when you float the image?
What does my framer use? Some archival map type board.
Okay,
That's
so
all.
It's a mat board.
Right, and sometimes it might have a backing of, depending how big it is, it might have a backing of gator board, the plastic. Okay. So that way it's firmer and it's not gonna break or anything in shipping. If it's a small one, just need mat board. Anything else?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you, on your larger pieces, do you mount the the paper to the board before you start drawing?
Again, this brings my framer into action. Yeah. He mounts huge boards for me. And so I paint the big ones and I cut off the scraps and use them for the small ones.
Okay.
But they're all pre-mounted.
Yes.
When I work in my playbook, I have hot press watercolor paper and I use liquid clear gesso and just put it into the book. So for a sketchbook type thing. Okay? Any others?
Yeah, I want to know how long it took your arm to heal. Because I'm left-handed and, just did this.
December 10th.
From last year?
December 10th to 2025. And I can paint with this hand. Yep.
Cool.
I went through a lot of OT and PT. It's work.
Cool.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Anything else? Well, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Phew.
I just wanted to say I love your spirit and your encouragement to push the boundaries because you're right. If you keep doing what you're comfortable, it shows that kind of comfort zone, like almost to boredom level, and you present everything so much. You make everything fun in your talking, so it's so encouraging.
Yeah, if you know how to do it, why bother? Use the toolbox and live by the question. Okay? The toolbox is important. Have to acquire that too. Okay, if you have any questions afterwards, please come up. Otherwise, enjoy the show.
Well done.
Thank you.